Hello, this is Isaac from Turn Sounds. Starting forest fires is bad.
Welcome to Just Keep Walking. This is a podcast focused on the Walking Dead TV show, and today we're talking about Season 11, Episode 1, called Acheron Part 1. And we like to dive straight into it, but very brief introduction is that my name's Ben. I've got with me
Liam.
And they know me as Isaac.
Yes, and we are very excited to be back into the show. Obviously, spoilers. Spoiler alert, do you want to do it?
Spoilers ahead!
Cool, so, well, we've just finished watching it. What did you think? Isaac, do you want to go first, maybe?
Oh, man. Okay,
You don't have to, but...
I'm a fan. I like what I've listened to, what I've watched.
Did you have your eyes closed for some of it?
No, good feedback from me.
Cool. All right. Liam.
Ditto. It was great.
All right.
Yeah, really liked it.
Nice. Cool. Definitely. Same boat. Enjoyed it. It's very much half an episode, and it's part one, so that's not a surprise. But it's always annoying when it's like, I just want to, see what happens next. But what can you do? Hey.
So, liked it.
Yeah.
Okay. See you next week.
Yeah.
Good recording tonight.
Yeah, fun times. But I guess going from the top, right as we hit the opening credits, Liam, you said, or maybe it was when we paused it like 30 seconds in or something like that. You said it feels very different. Do you want to expand on that a bit?
Well, I think just the shot of Daryl overlooking whatever he was overlooking. I'm like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
And it was just bam, straight into it. And Daryl doing what Daryl does, surveying the scenery.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looked very new, very refreshing.
Yeah.
In a dark and ominous
so
way.
different in a good way then?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I guess the whole opening, it really dives straight into it. It is, they've always shaken things up a bit to an extent. It did definitely feel quite unique from other openings, really, especially just with the music here. It's like, boom, straight into it. Oh, okay, cool. And they did the whole thing with no dialogue, which I think that was the season 3 opening they did that for as well, where they're going and exploring a house.
My favorite.
Yeah. And for the most part, it works towards the end. I think when they got up onto the roof, it was obvious that they like they probably should have been talking, but they just wanted to keep the gimmick going. Like, it made sense, obviously, when they were trying to be quiet inside. But hey, it's definitely cool just to see something a bit different, and they were able to cheat a little bit by doing sign language for one part. But yeah, obviously we're seeing them work very effectively, efficiently. All these guys know what they're doing. I guess that's really just what they're trying to show us, is that these guys have got it even more sorted out than they have before.
On that, I'm going to be a little bit critical.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So you know how I am with weapons.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, at one point Maggie picks up a handgun, right?
Yeah.
And she fires off a couple of rounds, caps a few walkers. But then on her final shot, she goes to take a shot, and she's out of ammo, right? But she still does a flinch as if she was going to fire off a round. Now, any arms user will tell you. I don't even know if that's the term. Any people that have fired a gun know that your form, you shouldn't flinch at all instinctively when you fire the thing. If you do, that's big rookie mistake.
Wow.
There's no way you can be accurate if, as you're going to pull the trigger, you're already flinching, waiting for it to go off. So
there's no recoil, is there?
That as well. So
interesting. Okay, you really were paying attention, yeah.
I mean, and then I said to myself, well, she's not like an expert, and it's the spare of the moment thing. Like, she is a bit jittery and all of that. So, but then I was also like, no, they've been doing this for years now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Good spot.
What did you think about using arrows and stuff inside? That didn't seem quite right to me.
Again, this will be applicable later on in the subway tunnel.
Sure.
But we're at the point now where we can very proficiently clear off herds of zombies by stabbing them in the head. Yeah. There's no need to waste arrows or crossbow bolts of your Daryl or throwing knives. There's no way.
Yeah.
It's cool, but also 2 in a row. Come on.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
So I mean,
I
definitely.
picked up on that.
Oh, sorry, you go for it. Go for
I'm
it.
just saying, I'm glad you picked up on that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Definitely the whole open. You know, it was a bit silly parts of it, but hey,
It's cool, yeah.
they're having fun with it. Whatever. It's TV, yeah, I think definitely. You know, I always have to give a shout out to Lydia. She's got the bow working pretty well. No, not quite to Morgan's standard, but better than Henry maybe. Henry was a bit clumsy
Well, yeah,
with
he's
it.
dead.
So,
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. But you know, well, that one makes sense at least. And Rosita as well, actually. She was, you know, I didn't even see it up close. I think it's the same thing she's been using with some weird, I have no idea what you'd call it. It's like a sword thing, but you know, those sort of weapons make sense in that setting as opposed to a bow and arrow for something that's like 3 meters away. So yeah, it was. That made sense at least. But yeah, we've got the whole they're finding these MREs, which you can kind of put 2 and 2 together that it's probably Daryl followed a lead from the one he found in the other episode not too long ago because they're the same sort of packs. So that's obviously always good to find. That's what you'd want in an apocalypse. But towards the end, Carol is about to go, but then she sort of runs off. I could feel Isaac next to me.
Yes.
Yeah. Either that or rolling your eyes. That you know she's once again kind of going off and doing something different. But how did you feel about that?
Fine. Like I wasn't. The fact that we didn't have any talking going on at the start, there wasn't people calling her back and her ignoring them or whatever. So
True.
it didn't feel annoying.
Yeah.
You know, she was tugging on the rope to come back up, and I was kind of like, "Don't pull her up." Don't pull her up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do have a note on the pulley system though. As well.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool that they use that as an entry point, but I'm gonna say there's a science behind it. Like the more wheels you add to a pulley, like that overlap, the amount of force you can pull through with less effort. Right?
Yeah.
So single wheel pulleys like that,
And that was a tiny wheel.
and a very thin rope as well,
Yeah.
which I guess it broke, you know, at one point.
Yeah.
But
big
to be able to
surprise.
pull up full human weight, like 50 kilos plus, you know, on a single pivot point, like that's a lot of strength.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
clearly they'd rigged those things up. They could have just put 1 or 2 more wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to further that. Why didn't they just go out the front door? Like once all the walkers are awake, like, well, we don't have to drop through the roof anymore. Just walk out the front door. Like maybe it was give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was blocked off. Who knows?
Sure.
But, yeah, I was a little bit like, why? Like they're all up and running now. You don't need to worry about trying to be quiet and getting up through the roof.
Yeah.
It is like a safe escape though. Like once you're off the ground, you don't need to worry about how many of them are there.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
And
You
it
don't
does.
have to worry about the thin rope.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. Like, well, I just saw one snap. So maybe I'll take the door. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And last note on that for me, if I
Yeah.
may, one of my favorite zombie shots or walker shots that they do is I can't. There's a couple of them in pits and stuff, but where they're all clustered together and they're all just reaching up together, like you can see shots of their hands.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite sort of walker,
Yeah, right.
motifs that they do. And
Okay.
episode 1, and we got it already. Nice.
Nice.
Off to a
Ticking
good
all the
start.
boxes. I guess with just going back to the Carol thing for a sec as well, I definitely didn't mind it in this situation, like, because she's been very annoying in the last season in terms of, like, we've got to go, and then she'll go and run off and do one last thing. It's come on. But this was a case where they're like, no matter how you look at it, she's not putting other people in danger. It's just herself she's putting at risk. And Daryl kind of knows, like, oh, yeah, she can do this. And so he's got her back throwing knives and stuff and giving her a little hand. So, it definitely seemed like it would be really annoying if there was still 1 or 2 people left to go and she was slowing them down. Like, that would be really annoying. But it's like, oh, yeah, it's just you. Sure, go for it. Yeah.
Not only that, but throwing knives don't have like bulky handles as well.
Right.
They're shaped very particular way. So to be able to, throw 2 massive knives like that and have them land, I don't know.
I was actually hoping that like the second one would miss or
Yeah.
hit the handle
Not
or
hit
something.
Carol.
Or that.
Or like even to
the
hit like the
handle.
back of the walker, so like
Yeah.
it doesn't take it down, but still,
Yeah. And then Carol could look up and be like, roll her eyes at him, and he would shrug his shoulders. I'd be happy with that.
That would have been good.
All right. Yeah. True.
Before we move on from this specific scene,
Sure.
What can I get you guys' opinions? What are your thoughts on like sleepy walkers?
Good question. Yeah, this definitely like.
What do you mean?
Like how they're all just sort of inactive. Like I know that they all tend to do nothing
Yeah.
after a certain period of time, but I feel like my microphone just went a little bit quiet.
That's what I've been dealing with this whole time. I don't know what's going on.
We'll have to play around with this.
Maybe I might have just projected upwards, but who knows?
That's all right. I can hear, so I'll let you know if it cuts out.
But yeah, like we see them go inactive from time to time, right?
Yeah.
And it's more a case of it's one of them lying up against a tree, but we've never seen like a whole herd of walkers where they're all just appearing to be sleeping, even in separate rooms. And yeah, like you see after someone turns, they get up. They don't just turn and then stay lying down. Yeah, I found that very, very odd.
Yeah, I don't mind it actually because we've definitely seen it at a few other points in the series, but yeah, I mean the rules always change. Even now, I'm thinking about it as I'm saying it. Like when Herschel gets bit on his leg, like they've all been running past, like yelling and stuff, and it's just stayed there until the moment where he's like right next to it. Yeah, so the rules definitely change quite a lot, and you wonder how they all got to sleep in the first place if like the slightest little like wakes the whole group up. But I'm all right with it. I think there's enough pretense of other stuff kind of similar happening. So yeah, why not? Sure.
I got a very, very quick theory on that.
Yeah?
Is that that they last longer if they're inactive and lie down?
Sure.
Probably. So
Yeah, it makes sense.
it's probably not a conscious effort, but I'm sure somehow they must just get tired. Like moving gets increasingly more difficult, and so if there's nothing worth looking at or investigating, they just,
Yeah.
let's stop walking. We'll be the sleeping dead for a while. You know?
Why not?
Yeah. Undisturbed.
It makes sense. But then you look at the blood waking one up, and as soon as that one woke up, the rest of them, Spider-Man references there.
That was a bit silly.
Yeah, they all wake up, and like you say, the second one goes, "Rah!" All of them wake up. You think, how has this happened? How are you all asleep right now? The slightest knock would wake one, you'd think, and then all of them would be like, what's going on in here?
Yeah.
I had a laugh because at first I thought it like dropped right into his mouth and he did like a like yummy blood, yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like a shark. They all smell it and wake up.
Was that cut on Daryl's arm from something? I've forgotten.
No,
Yeah,
well,
I don't know.
I didn't remember that. I don't know if it happened just then with the rope or yeah, that wasn't
It
very
looked
clear.
old, but like it reopened when he like grabbed the thing.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, might be from an old episode, just forgot.
Well, I wouldn't expect you to have forgotten.
Yeah, well, it's probably from like the one with the rat in the kitchen and
Yeah.
everything. 'Cause I haven't rewatched that one in a while
For good reason.
Yeah. Anyway, so moving on, they all arrived back in Alexandria. It's just sort of, reminding us of everything. Maggie gives Negan a little glare, which, hey, you got to remind us of what's going on. Fair enough. I mean, there's nothing too crazy there.
Clearly, she's been talking smack about him because the group comes up and goes, "Oh, is that the guy?"
Right.
He's
Right.
I'm like, "What?"
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually didn't pick up on that, but yeah, good one. The cinematography here definitely stands out because there are lots of like really wide shots, with very wide lenses just showing off the whole location and everything, which I liked, and I liked the way this whole episode was shot, really, especially even in the subway as well. They're just making the best of the sets. Sometimes they stay really close in, which is probably to either hide the fact that they don't have that many actors there or the set's only so big. But I guess here they had it all there, so why not capitalize on it and really show it off? So yeah, there's something about it. I definitely prefer when you can just take a few steps back and give a little bit of headroom, a little bit more than you'd usually do, and it usually, to me, makes it feel more cinematic because I guess if generally when they design it for like a small TV screen, you'll get it as close in as you can to fill up the frame. But then for movies, they'll make the shot a bit wider because you've got this massive screen. And they did that here. They just took a few steps back from what they'd usually do, is what I felt. So, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on, like, were you looking at any of that sort of technical stuff throughout the episode?
Not even a little bit.
No, fair enough.
It's not my area of expertise.
I was, but to my own detriment, I'm afraid.
Right, yeah.
I wish I could just enjoy some of these things.
Yeah.
And there are some TV series do that where I'm just so immersed, but then ones like this, like for the subway scene, where I'm like, wow, this is a pretty cool set piece. It can't be entirely a set piece, can it? And so I started looking at the walls, and sure enough, the walls of like the subway looked quite animated. I mean, different.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so you can see some of like the tubing going down, and like the way that the shadows interacted with them. Just it didn't strike true to me, and it could just be the way that they lit the set. Maybe it is real, but some of it didn't look quite. You know how they look a little too flat and not textured enough sometimes, animated things?
Yeah, I got what you mean, yeah.
But them outside in the rain, beautiful. I liked the lightning and thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah, obvious that it was just footage of a real storm,
Yeah. No, it's good stuff. And very visceral, them in the rain, yelling to one another, trying to talk over the rain and stuff.
Yeah, true. Cool. Although one pet peeve that Daryl had this awesome cowboy hat, and then the second they got inside the tunnel, it was gone. I was like, where is it?
It's the rain hat.
Or maybe it was Maggie. I don't know, but it looks like Daryl was wearing it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Okay.
And like a balaclava type thing across his face as well.
Yeah. Oh, well, hopefully they'll bring that back somewhere. And maybe the hat can save Maggie in the cliffhanger somehow. You're very right. And it's those things with just production value, showing a real storm, and it just makes it feel a little bit bigger budget and stuff. I definitely didn't notice that at all with the tunnels. I'll have a rewatch tomorrow maybe and see if I spot anything. But to me, it all looked very real. So who knows? We'll see.
Props to you, by the way, for waiting to watch this with us.
I
appreciate
did.
it. Well done.
There we go. You're welcome.
I say that just so that, if you didn't, hopefully your conscience will burn up inside.
Yeah. No, I did wait. I promise.
Good on
you. So we go to catch up with Eugene and Yumiko and Ezekiel and Princess. There we go. At the Commonwealth, and basically, we've already seen a little bit of what's going on there with the interrogations and stuff, but now they're getting into the real interrogations, which goes for like 7 hours apparently. Do you guys have any thoughts on this whole situation?
Kind of boring.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
No, I didn't think so.
Okay.
Well, first of all, very polarizing difference between like the stormy, washed out grey from the subway tunnel to like these bright whites from the stormtrooper armor.
Yeah, bright orange.
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
I let out a very small yes, like finally, because I've been itching to, ever since the last season, like what's going on with this group.
Yeah, okay.
What's happening there.
Yeah, just finding out a little bit at a time is interesting for sure. Sorry, you go.
Oh, just that I'm a big fan of the, not quite montage, but the way that they cut together the interrogation.
True.
So you can tell that the questions were very, very routine and sort of monotonous in their asking, but it didn't feel to me repetitive just because of the different answers and sometimes exactly the same answers that the different members of the group would give.
Yeah,
true. Like, it's fun.
Yeah, interesting.
Very invasive,
Yeah, very, and it definitely gets you asking, well, why are they worried about that? Like, it doesn't matter. What's your highest education level and stuff like that? I only know a couple of things from the comic of how that might tie in, but it'll be very interesting to see how that unfolds and why all that stuff's so important to them. But I liked when Eugene brought up like, oh, well, Michonne turned people away for ages and, not everyone's perfect. So that definitely made it sort of like, okay, yeah, maybe these guys are all right and they're just overly cautious. But then the people in the cell next to them, oh, we've been here for 4 months, 9 months.
Oh,
Yeah, all right, let's get out of here. This isn't a good idea.
And that other person just getting taken out.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't do anything. Did anybody think that they were all just plants?
That's very possible. Very
Ah.
possible.
Yeah, I
Like
didn't
it's
think of
all
that.
just a big theater, like a big act. All of them.
No, I did not think of that. I did think it might have been Princess hallucinating to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't think that.
It definitely didn't yeah, I didn't think of that specifically, but now you say it, that would definitely make sense. You know, put these other people around who they can talk to and stuff like that, and maybe share some secrets. Yeah. We'll have to see. This is probably skipping forward a bit. We'll just maybe stick with the Commonwealth stuff for now. When they did the whole Stormtrooper costume swap thing, that was a bit too much to skip over maybe.
How'd they do it, Liam?
I don't know.
How?
I don't get it. I'm so confused.
Like it took a good minute or two into the scene to go, oh, that's Yumiko and Eugene dressed up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How did they do that?
The minute
When
she
did that
spoke,
happen?
I knew that it was them. But like,
Yeah.
I was like, hang on, what? How?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mystery. Yeah, like they planted enough seeds, like maybe because Princess knows who to ask when she needs to go to the loo, and she knows when these guys are gonna have their costumes off and stuff like. Maybe,
okay.
but it is still a lot of coincidences
Yeah.
that would have to.
To get all 4 of them out.
Yeah, like after you've just shown us this whole montage of these guys being super strict and everything, a little bit more explanation would be helpful.
Or even just like to connect those dots for me, even just a simple shot of Princess asking, "Hey,
Oh, true,
my bladder's
actually.
busting. Do you mind if I go to the thing?" And whatever.
Very true.
And then we would have gone, so that's, and then they did something, and then okay.
Yeah. No, just a tiny little touch like that actually would have worked. Yeah, you're very right. But anyways, they're walking out and they go through, they see all these weird, like there's money with crosses on it and crazy stuff like that. And Yumiko sees, Princess sees a photo of Yumiko on the wall. Someone's written a note saying, find my sister Miko, and it's her. So there we go. I mean, there's only so much to comment on so far. A lot of mysteries. I've got to look this up. Yeah, did you guys have any reactions to that just while I'm Googling something?
Get out.
Yeah. It took me.
right,
It
yeah,
took me like a
gotcha.
couple of seconds. Like Miko, why is that real? Oh, you Miko. Okay.
Yeah, well, like just go, man. Just go. You can come back.
Well, now that they know where their base is. Well, I guess they were like a sack over their head, but like they could kind of figure it out. Like come back, do recon and find out where your sister maybe is, because there's no even guarantee that she's alive. Like
Exactly right. Yeah.
yeah, I did. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go. That's all right.
And back to the tunnels, I was going to, but just while it was on my mind, just quickly that teddy bear. No, was it like a rabbit or something? That's in the gutter there.
Yeah,
That gets picked up. I'm just gonna say now, does Angela Kang have like a daughter or a son or something like that?
Definitely a son, because he played Baby Herschel at one point in the series.
That's 100% his old teddy bear. I'm saying they put it on set, and that's a little Easter egg right now.
Okay. There was definitely a few close-ups of it. Hey, so it's got to
Yep.
be something significant. I actually, I looked up a photo of it. I'll see if I can find it here to show you guys. But in the flashback to when Alpha and Lydia were like underground and sort of first in the breakout, I swear Lydia had the exact same bunny rabbit.
Ah,
There you
But it definitely wasn't the same tunnel or anything. There's a photo.
Okay.
But I swear it was the same rabbit. So I don't know.
looks a bit different.
Yeah.
Many
Well, there's got to be
secrets.
something there, because there was definitely a few close-ups on it. But
Well, surely it's just there to like imply that there was a kid down here that got Or that there is a body of a kid with all these other.
That's true,
Makes
actually.
it more
I'm
sad.
probably thinking way too
Yeah.
much into it.
Also,
Yeah, that
yuck,
would make
the
sense.
white
big guy.
flesh on the
Mm,
don't like it.
yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Nah, that's pretty gross. That's fair enough. I'm not actually 100% sure what I was Googling just before. I think in the comics, Michonne finds her sister at the Commonwealth or something like that. There's definitely something like that happens in the comics where a character finds a brother or sister, but I can't find it, so I'm not sure.
Had we heard anything about a sister of Yumiko up till now?
I don't think so.
Can't remember anything, no.
Because I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I
well.
don't recall hearing anything like that.
Yeah. Interesting. We'll have to see. So back in the tunnel, big fatty zombie
Fatty
is
combatty.
falling apart.
Actually,
Gross.
can we backtrack to that first one again? Because
Yeah.
I have a critique for that.
Oh,
Ooh.
the silent
silent
one?
one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why was he silent? They said that he'd had his throat slashed. But how many times have we seen decapitated walkers? Literally in the last,
True.
like the pikes.
Yeah.
They're all on top of the pikes. Like,
Were they making noise though? They were moving.
I thought they were just like making noises with their mouth, like
maybe.
jaw noises.
I'm sure we've had decapitated walkers make sounds.
I feel like Herschel did.
Actually, yeah. And even Alpha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Yeah,
that's me
okay.
done for the
No,
show
that's a good point. It's very true. Yeah. Oh well, it's just another one. There's so many inconsistencies
write that
with how
down.
zombies work in the show. But yeah, no, it's a good point. Actually, makes sense.
We should write it down. We should. Safety first. So if the apocalypse does happen, never cut the throat of the zombies. Sorry,
Yeah, 'cause
never
then they might
decapitate. Yeah.
Sneak up on you later. You know what? Just for safety, why not just kill them?
Well, look, ideally, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Why did they have those?
Because they were killed before the fall, I think they're saying, like
Oh,
some kind of cartel or, gang,
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
Okay. Yeah, fair
Is that
enough.
what you're talking about? I thought the Reapers, perhaps.
Maybe.
Which is interesting, they keep calling it the fall now as well. Who were you before the fall?
Yeah, good point, actually.
I don't know if we've
I didn't
heard that
pick up on
before.
that. No.
Yeah.
They would usually say what we before or something before
Yeah.
all this.
I don't mind the fall. That's all right. I've heard worse. True. Yeah.
World Beyond, when the sky fell or something.
Yeah. 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 I've heard worse. Okay, so Negan goes on a bit of a rant here. He does this from time to time, puts his foot in his mouth a bit too much.
You reckon?
What did you reckon about that?
I might palm this off to Liam first because I want to see
Okay.
if you're on the same page.
I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I agree he does put his foot in his mouth from time to time. But yeah, at this point here, I'm like, what was your end game? You were literally beforehand saying, this is a death wish, I'm out. See you later, guys. And then you're literally saying to Maggie, let's get this on right now. If you're going to do it, just do it. Kill me. Like, what are you getting at, buddy? And then trying to egg her on further by talking about how he killed Glenn. Like,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that didn't do anything.
like, what are you doing? Like, you were literally just trying to say beforehand, hey guys, I want to live. And now you're like, all right, just kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it a bit confusing.
Yeah, I was like Team Negan the whole episode, right up to the end, and that's very much shocked me.
Right.
But during this whole thing, I was like, yeah, absolutely. He feels like there's a target on his back. Everyone's like doing the shouldering him as they walk past, and it's kind of just like at one point he just like shakes his head and does like a little chuckle because he's like you're all in on it or something. He says to Daryl, you're in on it too. He's not able to. He's gonna die on this mission pretty much. He's got the feeling, and so he like calls her out on it, which fair enough, and she doesn't deny it even in any way.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I think he's so annoyed that he brings up Glenn, like, you put me down like a dog, just like Glenn. And then whack, that's when he gets punched, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, you're right, is when his foot goes in his mouth. He should not have said that.
Yeah.
But also, like, he's frustrated. He's been treated like dirt for the past 8 years or something,
Yeah.
or however long. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is just a matter of probably getting too carried away because he had an end game or something. He was either trying to get him to turn around or at least, for people to be aware of what Maggie's up to, but then he just took it too far.
Because I think what his plan was there was trying to expose Maggie. Like, I don't think he ever
Sure.
thought that she was going to kill him then and there.
Yeah.
Even when he said, all right, let's just get it over with. Because I
Yeah.
think if she had done that, she might have lost the support of the rest of the group.
Yeah,
Which she can't
sure.
afford, so...
Yeah. Yeah, but at least to expose her, just so then people will, thinking about it later on. Although it was good to see Daryl get a punch in when when Negan brought up Glenn, because that was what happened originally,
Yeah.
but now he
Yeah.
gets to get away with it.
I did say.
Yeah.
No exceptions.
Ugh.
So, I mean, it's kind of what caused Glenn's death in
Yeah,
a way,
I
in
know.
punching Negan, but at least he gets a solid one in this time. There we go. So definitely, like, there's always something more you find out that's been going on with Negan. It's like, oh, okay, maybe that was what he was planning all along. But, yeah, very much so, like, I think we're all kind of in the same boat and feeling like, come on, man, just like be a team player a little bit and try and, earn a bit of trust. It's fine if he still has a bit of smack talk and stuff just because that's him. But,
Yeah.
but he could try at least a little bit just to earn people's trust. So,
Just before the moment is gone, just because
Yeah.
I was reminded of it and I found it very funny. A meme
Yeah.
I saw on Facebook. Glenn gets to heaven and Herschel's there and he's asking, all right, so how did you die? And Glenn was like, we were surrounded by saviors. Abraham had just been killed, and Negan said, now something about nobody move. Oh yeah, then what happened? And then Daryl moved, and now I'm dead.
oh, no.
It was like, oh, rough.
Yeah, rough.
Yep.
What can you do? Daryl.
Daryl.
So it is all very dark on my iPad. I'm just skipping through
It's
the
very
episode.
good. You having the prompt there like
Yeah.
that. It's a
Yeah.
Good idea.
Very clever.
Okay, because before I've like watched the episode beforehand, and then the second time I watch it, I make notes. But I couldn't do that this time. I couldn't do that to you guys
Clever.
after
Is
the
this,
hell you gave me last time.
Is this like the trend that the precedent that's getting set for this whole season? Or are we going to be able to hold you to that?
No guarantees now.
Okay.
For the big ones, yes.
Not even if people plug in at turnsounds.com to support us?
If you support us and specifically ask for me to wait and watch the episode with the other guys, I'll do it.
Come on now.
Head to turnsounds.com and click on the plug in button.
Liam will blow you a kiss as well.
I will.
Yeah.
I will blow you a kiss.
He's been doing that from time to time.
I have.
Apparently.
I have. It's a
Yeah.
hit.
Okay. All right. Well,
Awesome.
maybe we can bring it here. So, I mean, that's kind of, for the most part, what happens in the episode right up until we get to the end, as this horde comes out of nowhere from the other side of the tunnel. So I guess there's lots of tunnels. They could have come from anywhere, but yeah, we sort of get into a sticky situation. Everyone's getting up on the train cars. Maggie, it was maybe a little bit contrived, her like not being able to climb up because everyone else found it pretty easy.
Yeah.
But we get to this Lion King moment of Scar standing over Mufasa on the edge of the cliff. How do you think this is going to go? Have you got any theories of where it'll pick up in the next episode? Is he just going to go and come around the other side and save her, or is he actually doing what it looks like in abandoning her and hoping she'll die?
We saw the next up on the thing,
Yeah.
which I kind of wish we hadn't.
Oh, true, actually.
Next episode.
I was just so shocked I wasn't even paying attention to what he said in that
Okay.
preview. So
It's a bit telling.
yeah,
The
right.
next one.
I
Okay.
don't know. They could still ride around that.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, like maybe he had something to do with the two people who ran off. Maybe he was like, "Oi, fellas, there's a little side passage here. I know these tunnels. Off you go. You didn't want to be here. Make a break for it."
As his voice echoes across the whole tunnel.
I don't know. Hey, it might not be as it seems. That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
So the dude pressing up against him and saying, and him turning around and saying, "I did what I had to do." He's like, "Yeah, I was just trying to save the kid's life, man."
I don't know. I don't know.
I definitely feel like there's got to be something more going on than just what it looks like on the surface. But yeah, we'll have to see.
If it turns out that there is nothing there, I'll be very disappointed in the writing team.
Yeah,
For it to be just like a panicked Negan moment where he's like, all right, well, maybe if I leave her and she dies, then like she won't kill me and I will survive. Like that, he seems like he's grown past that.
Yeah.
Also, like a heel kick to the forehead would have solidified that and she would for sure be dead rather than just watch her. Like, because he's standing over there and I'm like, why is he even considering this? Like, I thought, okay, they're music is swelling. It's going to be this big, is he going to, is he not going to? And then he reaches out and grabs her, right?
Yeah.
Like, as she's going to fall or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was already going, I don't really like the way that plays out in my head either. And then he turns away and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very dark.
Interesting.
But yeah, Lion King, very good.
yeah, like that was
brother.
I don't know. That was all that was going through my head in that moment.
Long live the queen.
Yeah, that's it. Long live the king.
Dog will then start howling as she falls off.
Yeah, for sure. So this actually, definitely it marks the first time we've had a part 1, part 2 scenario with the episodes. So
Really, the first time?
yeah, I would know.
Yeah, you would.
Very true.
So I don't like it because it makes for a very frustrating cliffhanger. But I mean, it's probably one of those things that'll be a lot nicer to watch back just as a whole if you can watch them back to back. And so, they like I saw a few, comicbook.com headlines that say, oh, it'll be a feature-length premiere. And so kind of, if you put the two together.
That irritates me.
Yeah. But I know enough not to trust those guys. It's probably more so we got this covered, but yeah, well, I've got a couple other things to talk about after that, but do you guys have any other thoughts just on the episode before we move on?
Ezekiel had with his coughing fit, his cancer coughing fit.
Oh, yeah.
Just the first time that we've really seen it, I think, take like that much time toward coughing.
With a bit of blood too, I think, wasn't there?
I think so.
Subtle,
a little bit on his lip.
Yeah, very uncomfortable to watch, but good acting for sure. Yeah, did you have any other thoughts on that? Like how
it gets commented on like a goiter or something, and it's just a benign this and that. So clearly it's out there in the open.
Yeah.
But yeah, because we've talked about it before, and we had hoped that this new community might have some kind of like surgeon or something.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
But
we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But lastly on that, it'll be a critical moment where they're running for something, and then, like you always see, he'll start coughing, or like when they need to be quiet, he'll start coughing. It's not leading to a good place.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I was going to say he's going to be like dressed up in the stormtrooper armor, then start coughing, but no, he's not in costume, so that's all right. Liam, any last thoughts?
No, I'm really happy with this episode.
Okay,
cliffhanger is irritating as you'd expect, but it was good.
Okay,
really good episode.
Awesome, sweet. Maybe just overall, like it's definitely not like my favorite premiere. Often like I don't know. There's just a little something that was missing, maybe, but I still definitely liked it. So yeah. I guess it's mostly some of it with the music, or there's often just like the opening of season 9 when they're walking in the field, or there's always a moment where with the family or something like that in the season 10 premiere. There's just something that's nice that brings you back into the world, and it wasn't quite there this time for me, but we'll see. Well, it's still just part 1, so maybe part 2 will have it.
Well, it might be reversed. Hopefully, in an ideal world, you leave that right till the end.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe. Yeah.
Resolution.
Yeah, true, actually. Yeah, we'll see what they do. What have you got, Liam?
I do have one
You
more
can't
point.
snap your fingers and not
Hey.
have
I know. I have a point.
So he's got something.
Did you guys pick up on maybe it could have been like a little clue building up to the end with Negan? There were little drops of his old theme back from when he was first introduced.
Yeah.
I don't recall what that is.
Just like the. That's probably the best I can
Yeah, that was
do.
actually pretty good.
All right, then.
Yeah, I heard that. I'm like, oh, we got the ominous Negan theme here.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, yeah, in hindsight, now I'm like, maybe that was a little clue to say, hey, he's about to do something that you're not gonna like.
Yeah, and they do use that anytime there's like a hint of sort of old evil
Yeah.
Negan, even if he's not fully going that way, but like with the whispers or stuff, like just. Or I think it was more so when what Brandon gave him the leather
Yeah.
jacket back and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
It's just like a little bit of him still there, but yeah, we'll see.
On that, while we're there, as far as like musical themes and such.
Yeah,
Before, when we first got introduced to the Reapers,
yeah.
and we said, I think I said, like, I hope every time they're mentioned, we don't hear the dooga of like the, and already it's happened this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, did it?
Right
didn't
at the
notice
start, they're
It
talking
was
about
pretty
it.
subtle, but there's almost like 3 themes they've got as well, because there's the piano.
Ah, yes, yeah.
Yeah, and there's another like kind of just sound. I can't remember what it is now, but I feel like there's enough variety there. It's not too
Okay.
bad.
Because
I don't mind it.
okay, the track that was playing right at the start when Maggie comes back from something and is talking with the new group.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was familiar to me. That sounded fresh.
Yeah, nothing stood out to me. I might have pick up on something in rewatch maybe, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, good point. Have to listen out for it. Yeah, so we're on AMC Plus because I've shelled out a few bucks and worked out how to use a VPN and all this stuff, so we can watch it early. But yeah, I don't know if they've done this for all the episodes. Definitely all the ad breaks seemed a lot smoother than what we
Yeah.
usually get it. So
Yes.
maybe they've just improved that in the editing anyway. But that's always nice because usually it's really abrupt. They'll just like cut, or it'll be like a 5-frame fade out or something. So these were all very nice transitions. So it's just a small little note. But at the end, we get, after the preview, we get a little Walking Dead Insider, I think they're calling it now. They keep changing it. It was episode diaries last time.
Yuck.
Which it's 10 minutes long. We haven't actually watched it yet because we just finished watching the episode. Given the track record of behind the scenes content for the last season or two, I'm definitely not holding high hopes. And I've scanned through it. It's just Angela Kang on Zoom talking about stuff. So they're really just very lazy with some of this stuff, unfortunately. And it's it's an area, if you don't know, that I work in putting together some of this stuff, well, that I'm moving into now. I'm doing a behind the scenes documentary and a bit of content there. So I definitely look for that stuff, and it's a shame when it's like one of your favorite things that you want to see good content about, and they just really don't do much with it. So that's a shame, but oh well. It's better than last season still, because the last season they like had a separate show on AMC Plus called Walking Dead Episode Diaries, and it was just the episode. And then every like 15 minutes or so, it would cut to this like obnoxious dubstep music with with about 30 seconds of behind the scenes content of just the actors saying like, "Oh, it was so fun to do this scene because the walkers were so cool," and stuff like that. And then it just goes back into the episode. It's just like, come on, you could do something a bit better than that. So there you go. There's my little rant about that stuff.
Valid.
Yeah, they keep doing this like with the dubstep. Like that's been going on for a lot of the seasons. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it.
Yeah, dubstep doesn't really fit with The Walking Dead.
Yeah. I'm very, I'm open to even if Angela Kang on Zoom, even if it's just that, as long as she has something interesting to say, that's all right with me. They haven't really had much in the past, but we'll give it a go. They could always step it up and do something there. It's just, it's just usually more like promo material or just recapping the episodes. Oh, so Negan was really having a lot of trouble in this scene because he was ranting to the. It's like, oh no, we just watched that. You don't have to just explain it or like tell us something new. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Be nice if she would talk to us on Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just thinking
definitely. Yeah. From what I've heard from other people who work in the press and stuff like that, like sort of with each episode, she'll do sort of sit down and do all the different outlets at once and gives them about 5 or 10 minutes each because she's got so many interviews to do. So I'm not holding out hope that that'll happen anytime really soon. But hey, you never know. In a few years, maybe once the show's done, she's got a bit more free time. We'll see. She might be up for an interview. That'd
You
be
got to
cool.
be among the top ranked
Yeah.
Walking Dead podcasts.
Oh, maybe. I don't know about that.
Top
but
100.
see. Yeah. The closest thing to an official podcast is one who is. I don't think he is the social media manager anymore. This guy Johnny Odell. I think he got fired. I could be wrong, but he kept like on his personal Twitter account like talking about the episodes and saying. Which is fair enough. The one with Daryl and Carol and the rat in the kitchen and stuff. Like a good 3 months before it came out, he was like, "Oh, this episode's like by far the worst I've ever seen of the show." And like, fair enough, but you can't. If it's your job and you're getting access to watch them early, you can't go putting stuff like that on Twitter. And so, I think he's out of the job now. But he was running a podcast for a while and interviewing a bunch of people. Again, in my opinion, it's the sort of thing where it's like, oh, there's so much interesting stuff you could talk about, and then they just talk about like, what have you been during the lockdown? I'm like, talk about the show. I don't know. There we go. Rant over.
Okay.
Let's move on. Is there anything else you guys would like to talk about, or should we wrap it up there?
I got one kind of overarching concern.
Yeah.
If we want to get into
Yeah,
it.
go for it.
Just that this episode is very darkly lit, quite an epic, awesome opener with the looting and things.
Sure.
My concern is just that they attempt to make it too epic in the last season, because you're hopefully not, but you're struggling to tie up all the loose ends, closure here, the
Bless you.
oh goodness me, pardon me.
Oh, good.
You're trying to tie up all the loose ends, bad guys, finish them off, maybe some kind of link into the Rick movies that are somewhere out there. And I hope they don't move away kind of from what, for me, all of the previous seasons have been about, which is just, surviving and trying to save humanity, not losing yourself along the way.
Yeah, right.
And, we really saw what happened to Rick when that started to take a bad turn, when he, particularly he hacked up those people with the axe or the machete or something.
Yeah.
The saviors or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
no, good point, actually. And maybe that sort of follows on from what I was saying before about just there being a little something that I felt was missing. Is that usually it doesn't have to be much, but there's just a little something like setting up the themes of what this season's going to be about, or just something, there about a bit of a deeper theme. But really, I can't think of anything like that in this episode that they introduced. It's literally just finding food and then getting introduced to the Commonwealth.
which I like as a premise.
Sure,
that's my
yeah.
favorite thing, looting and shooting.
Definitely, yeah.
Root and toot and all
It's
that.
just got to be something little more underlying it, or just something that it's leading to, maybe, rather than just finding food. Even though it's a cool setting and a cool situation, like you said, that's what we love to see. Something a little more story-wise would be good, but once again, it's part one, so we've never had this before. Maybe they're saving all that for part 2 of the episode.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait a week and see. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. Hey, are we going to do? Let's do a very brief little bit of plugged in content. I'm not sure if anyone's even plugged in.
Well, I mean,
but
we just need to work on, I think,
yeah,
incentivizing people to plug in.
we do.
Because if I could just for a moment,
Yeah, please.
Those people who plug in for turnsounds.com is where you go. But Astromech, the Star Wars one we run, or even my wife, she runs the. We'll turn around, not just keep walking. Move your mind.
Yeah.
The people who plug in for those, even though there is a little bit of extra content there, it really is just saying we like what you do, we support your creativity, and by plugging in, the monetary use goes to helping to make the show better.
Yeah.
I don't think we see a penny of it really. It goes towards all of our subscriptions and things like that.
Definitely.
So it really just helps us keep the thing running. So that's why you would do it.
Yeah, definitely. That and the incentives definitely include, just having an influence on what we talk about in the show. If there's anything you'd like to hear more of, less of, absolutely go for it. And and you can just be a part of it more. Feel free to, if you'd like to, and you're plugged in, feel free to come and join us on the show for a little bit if you'd like to. And we can do some stuff like that. But it's very much up in the air. So you could come in and say, hey, this is what I want, and we would have to consider it.
Just like if you plug in and say, Ben, you should watch the episodes as a team with your co-hosts. He'll do that.
Yeah, that's right. But you know what we've actually forgotten to do is the previously on The Walking Dead, because we've been out of this for a while. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that aside, make that some special plugged in content. So you can look forward to hearing that if you do plug in. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening. I've been Ben. We've got
still Isaac.
And always Liam.
Awesome. Thank you for listening.